Good morning, everybody, and welcome today to Stahls TV. I'm your host today, Mike Koval, and what we're going to be covering is 12 ways to be successful with your heat press. So let's face it, everybody gets a heat press to basically personalize and customize apparel. But there's so many other opportunities that a heat press brings to the table, and those are the things that we're going to cover today. From the most important and the biggest reason folks get into it, decorating apparel. From t-shirts, jerseys, teamwear, jackets, pants, you name it. But also we're going to get into why every screen printer should have a heat press. Or if you're looking to get into screen printing but don't want all the mess and investment, a heat press could get you into that in no time. Every embroidery business should have a heat press. And also achieving full color with the heat press. And a lot of the things in the specialty finishes that are really tough to do with traditional decorating methods such as screen printing and embroidery. Heat printing is going to allow you to do glitters, metallics, foils, you name it. You could do it with a heat press. And one of the great things, Stahls has you covered in every way possible. Whether you're using a vinyl cutter to create your own transfers to a print and cut system for full color printing, Stahls carries rolled goods in both cad-cut and cad-color to suit your decorating needs. Don't have any equipment and only a heat press? We also have you covered on that end as well. You know, from pre-cut letters, pre-cut numbers, team names, pre-spaced names and numbers, we have you covered in all the services end as well. So that's what we're going to get into today, is all of these different ways that's going to make you successful with your heat press. So let's get into the easy stuff here. Oh, and by the way, I welcome any and all questions here throughout this. Those of you on Facebook Live, feel free to chat them out. And as they come across, we'll pause momentarily to answer them. And anyone out there on the GoToWebinar platform, again, just chat them out. Jimmy, my cohort behind the scenes here, will be holding up question flags, and I'll be getting to those at any time. I love interactivity. It makes my job so much easier here. But so anything you want to ask, feel free to shoot them out, and we'll get to those questions as soon as we can. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. The first thing, personalizing apparel. The number one reason why folks add a heat press, and it's one of the easiest things that you could do. Like I said, from cutting your own transfers, we carry the rolled goods, or us doing the services for you. So one of the basics and first things that folks do is teamwear. From jerseys here that you see here to the names and the numbers, the front and the back. Here we're going to decorate a jersey here with one of our pre-spaced name and number combos, which we have a dry fit shirt here. We're going to place a name and a number on the back here using our pre-spaced name and number. These, if you have a vinyl cutter, you can cut these yourself, but if you don't, you could order these through our services and our pre-spaced names and numbers. So what you get is a name and a number combination much like this, all lined up for you, no spacing required. Just place it on your garment and heat press, which we're going to go to now. We're using our Hotronix Fusion, and down the road we're going to be using the AutoClam heat presses, which is our most popular heat presses that we offer. So here at the Fusion, we're going to swing her away. We're going to load our garment to press our name and our number. One of the great features of the Hotronix Fusion is the threadability. So we could just open up our garment here and dress it on there so that we don't have to worry about any buttons in the front on some baseball and softball jerseys where you would have to use pillows or pads. With the Fusion, you could just thread those on there. And when doing heat pressing on any type of garment, you're always going to adjust your pressure once the garment is in there. And the fashion film, we use here a medium pressure on the Fusion, anywhere from a 4 to a 6. So we'll place our name and our number combo here, apply it at 305 to 310 degrees for 10 to 15 seconds. Once our timer reaches 0, go ahead and open her up. Most of our products are hot or warm peel, but those application instructions will be provided with anything you order with us here, whether it's cad-cut material or our service items. Remove our carrier, And there we have a decorated team jersey with a name and a number. As I mentioned before, we also do pre-cut letters and numbers, which are the most cost-effective way, but you have to lay out each individual letter when using pre-cuts as well as the numbers. So, you have to take a look at your production there and whether the added time or the cost savings, depending on the amount that you do, of which is going to make the most sense for you. But most folks out there vinyl cutting, they find cutting the names and using pre-cut numbers is the most cost and quickest way to decorate team wear if you have a vinyl cutter. Okay, so we have the t-shirt or the jersey application here. So decorating a hoodie. And we're going to use the same Fusion heat press. And again, what we're using here is just a basic white cotton hoodie. And we're going to use a pre-cut transfer here with a name of a school and for the city and the mascot. And we had mentioned about decorating numbers. We're going to use our pre-cut numbers here to put the number on the back of this sweatshirt. So we're back to the Fusion here. And another great feature of the Hotronix Fusion heat press that we have is, and any Hotronix heat press for that matter, is the ability to change out the lower platens to accommodate different items. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a different platen in this one because the hoodie we have here, we have the pocket and we also have the hood and things, which can get in the way and cause uneven pressure of your transfers. So what that could lead to is your transfer coming off because you're not getting adequate pressure on the actual transfer itself. These seams from the pocket or the hood here could interfere with that. What we'll do is we'll swap out a platen so we'll get a nice flat pressing area. Now, if your heat press doesn't have the ability to change the platens, you could use a Print Perfect pad, which what that will do is it'll raise up the area. You see, basically you would slip it in there and it will raise up the pressing area so that these seams from the pocket here and the hood will fall below and you get that direct pressure, on the transfer itself. So with the Fusion, we'll unlock our platen down there at the bottom. And I'm going to use an 8x10 platen here. Load that on there, lock it back in place. And I'm going to put my hoodie back on. And we'll see, just like we did with the jersey, we'll open it up and we'll thread that on there. And as you can see here, we have the hood falling below and we have this pocket falling below. So we have a nice flat pressing surface to get direct heat and direct pressure right in the area of our transfer so that we know it's going to last the life of this garment. So we'll place that down, and just like the name and number, this is the fashion film again, applying at 300 to 310 degrees for 10 to 15 seconds. And the fashion film is a hot peel product. And we have our front decorated. Where did I put my 3? Grab my pre-cut numbers. And when you order pre-cut numbers from Stahls, they come in packs of 10 in various sizes from 2-inch, 3-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch numbers. Those are all able to be ordered online quickly and easily. And they all come in packs of 10. And most of our cad-cut offering that we carry, you can order in pre-cuts as well. Here we're going to use our thermofilm. So that's one great reason why decorators love it, is because if they do their own vinyl cutting and they're using thermofilm or they're using fashion film or whatever that product might be, they know if they do pre-cut letter or pre-cut numbers and they're cutting their own names, they match the same exact product that they're cutting to the same exact product that they're ordering through our services so that you get the same exact look, the same exact feel, and the same exact color so that you be consistent with all of your applications. So you'll notice to do the back, I swapped the platen the other direction to accommodate the size of our 3. So we'll lay that down, but I didn't check my pressure on the first one. Luckily I was good because it was a little light. So I'm going to press that again to increase the pressure. And we're going to go ahead and place our number 3. And with pre-cuts, there's no carrier sheet, so I always like to use a craft paper or Teflon sheet just to cover that up to protect the heat press platen, and to make sure, you don't melt any numbers or anything like that. So Jimmy, we have any questions out there yet?
We're okay for now, Mike.
Okay.
If anybody has any questions, feel free to chime in. Thank you.
All right. So there we have our heat applied number in addition to the front application. Quickly and easily with the heat press, front and back, quickly and easily here. Utilizing, something that was custom cut and pre-cut lettering. So it's great because you can mix and match whatever it is here at Stahls that we offer. All right, so another popular application in the single color and cad-cut is doing legs and sleeves, which we'll do here on these sweatpants here. And now normally with the Hotronics and presses that we have, we do carry a leg and sleeve platen, but unfortunately it was taken on a training, by one of our colleagues here at Stahls. So I'm stuck with using the 16 by 20, but normally we have our leg and sleeve platen, which you could dress the leg or the sleeve over the platen just like we did with that. But luckily with the transfer design here, we could get away with placing our legs on the standard size platen to avoid any seams and things. So we have our pair of sweatpants here, and I'm going to put, and you'll see we have some foil applied to this already, and we'll put our pants down on there to avoid any of these seams here from the crotch to the waistband. And I'm going to test my pressure because we put something different in there. That's always key when heat printing, is always test the pressure with the garment loaded, because basic t-shirts, they're much thinner than a sweatshirt, so the pressure is going to be off from garment to garment. So just get yourself in the habit of testing once you have your garment loaded. So we'll take our transfer that we have here, place it on our leg, bring it back, heat press 300 degrees, 10 seconds. There we have our pant leg decorated. So now let's get into some different applications outside, of doing vinyl transfers. I had mentioned screen printing. Most screen printers, they do have heat printing equipment to cater to shorter quantities or more customization and personalization. Because as you know, screen printing is ideal for the same type of logo, the same exact logo, and the same colors over larger quantities. So typically, most screen printers don't do anything less than 12, some even 24 to 36. So they bring on a heat press to not turn away any business to cater to those small runs that they typically turn away. But let's say you want to get into screen printing, but you don't want to take on the heavy investment costs of some of the screen printing equipment out there, as well as the size of your shop, or some folks working out of their garage or even their home, where they just can't justify having that type of equipment, that much ink, cleaning supplies for burning your screens and things. It's a big thing to tackle. While screen printing, it's a great way to decorate apparel, and it's probably the most common and most widely used out there. But sometimes it's just difficult for the home-based business or smaller business. So just by simply having a heat press, you could become a screen printer overnight. Utilizing Stahls Transfer Express, what we can produce for you there is a screen printed transfer using Plastisol ink that only requires you to use a heat press to apply it. So when you hand that shirt to your customer, you could say, that's screen printing and that's what I do. They don't need to know that you're not running those squeegees through those screens and decorating all those garments without a heat press. So using Transfer Express, what you will get, and they're at transferexpress.com, and they have a great website where they have an online designer with thousands and thousands and thousands of templates and clip art, that you can completely customize to suit your needs. So once you have your design, and they also do custom, so if you have your own artwork, you can upload that there to turn that into a screen printed transfer. And like I said, this is a transfer that you would get from Transfer Express. And what this is, what you're seeing red here, is Plastisol ink, which is the same exact ink that you would use if you were a screen printer. But the biggest difference is it's screen printed on this sheet of paper, and there's a heat pressure or a heat sensitive adhesive that's baked into this, so that all you have to do is take it to your heat press, load your garment, and heat press it. And one of the nice things about using Transfer Express is you get this whole sheet size. It's not sure, it's kind of it's tough to see here, but we have a logo here, but we also have some smaller logos here, so you could combine different logos here to maximize the cost of your transfers by using gang sheets. So you could fill this up with whatever you would want, and just to quickly and easily do multiple garments at once. And let's just take a look at how easy screen printed transfers are to apply. And what we're using is Transfer Express Goof Proof, and I'm going to use the autoclam here because it's at a different temperature. And the Goof Proof, it's the most popular transfer that Transfer Express offers, perfect for cottons, 50/50s, and most polyesters. And those apply at a temperature of 365 degrees for just a short 5 seconds. So we'll load our shirt much like we did the Fusion. We're using the Hotronix autoclam here on the pedestal caddy. And once our shirt's loaded, we're going to go ahead and test the pressure. And Goof Proof is a medium pressure, so on a Stahls heat press, excuse me, anywhere from 4 to a 6. So, excuse me again, sorry. Place our transfer on our shirt. Like I said, we're at 365 degrees for just a quick 5 seconds. So lock our press down. This heat press opens automatically once the timer reaches 0, and then we'll remove the paper carrier. And there, we just screen printed a t-shirt with 0 equipment other than our heat press. And my alignment is way off there, so please don't judge. Oh, all right, so as I mentioned with the gang sheets, we could do the same thing here, but we're going to, where are my scissors? We're going to cut the white transfer off of our gang sheet. So this layout, this is for those customers that want, let's say, a full back design and also a left chest logo. So those were ganged together. And much like screen printing, when screen printed transfers make sense is when you have higher quantities of the same exact logo. Pre-press, check our pressure. We're going to use the left chest here. Lock it down. 365, 5 seconds. Remove that. And then we're going to spin this around. And that's one of the nice things about having a heat press that's threadable, is you could quickly and easily do a front and back application with never even taking the t-shirt off of the press. Quick pre-press. Place our back transfer, and I just smacked my GoPro camera, so that's going to be off. 365, 5 seconds. And there we have 2 applications with screen printing. Back and front left chest. So there we have utilizing your heat press to become a screen printer without any of the heavy investment costs or the time and effort that it takes to burn and reclaim screens and all that stuff. So there we have some screen printed transfers. What we're also going to take a look at now is why every embroidery business should have a heat press. So one of the nice things about having a heat press with an embroidery business, if you're not doing applique, having a heat press is a great way to start doing that. Because with Stahls, what we could do is we could custom cut twill for you, provide you with a sew disc. You could heat press that twill after you place your placement stitch and then run your applique stitch around that, and all you have to do is have your heat press. And one of the most exciting things and most profitable things that folks have been doing with embroidery is our rip-away applique technique, which what we're going to do is we're going to show you a brief video of that whole process and what having a heat press, cad-cut material, and an embroidery machine can do for your business. Jimmy?
The first stitch that will go down is the placement stitch. After the placement stitch is down, this shows us exactly where to put that glitter. I have cut a piece of glitter to fit this piece. I'm going to go ahead and move the hoop out so I have some working area. I also have taken the glitter and sprayed it a little bit with some spray adhesive. Now I will place it down, smooth it onto my fabric, and after it's done, I will then move the hoop back into the correct position. The next step is going to be the tack down stitch. All you have to do is press the start button and go. Of this process is to put down the cover stitch. We are utilizing the Madeira metallic thread to really bring out the glitter in this design. After this cover stitch is done, we will go ahead and rip away the glitter material from the applique. So after the stitching is complete, we can now rip away the material. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this design just by ripping it away. And after I do rip it away, I'm going to hand it over to Courtney so she can do the final step on the heat press and heat seal it to the shirt.
The final step in the rip away process is just going to be to heat press our glitter material down to the shirt. This will ensure a durable application. I'm also using a heat printing pillow. This way I get a firm application across the dense satin stitch. Once I have that loaded on my heat press, I'll cover it with the cover sheet and heat apply for 10 seconds at 320 degrees. Can remove the cover sheet and we have a completed stunning glitter metallic design. The third way to create unique monogram effects is to create custom patterns utilizing CAD Color Express Print and a solvent or eco-solvent printer. We'll go ahead and load our design and begin sewing out through the rip away process. We'll finish this off with a heat application to secure the express print down on the garment. The nice thing about having access to a solvent printer and CAD Color Express Print is it gives you the ability to create trendy, popular patterns on demand within your monograms. This applies at 300 degrees for 15 seconds. Remove the cover sheet and we have a completed garment.
Pretty awesome, huh? So those of you embroiderers out there who aren't doing applique yet, the rip away technique here is a great way to get started. You know, what you saw in the video was our cad-cut glitter flake and the express print patterns. But those aren't the only products that can be used with the rip away process. Glitter and the patterns are definitely the most popular, but others that are super great with those are the flock, which is a suede felt-like finish. You could do the same thing there. The thermofilm product, cad-cut reflective are great products to use with that. Is that one of the beauties of it is with traditional embroidery, even traditional applique, a lot of those finishes are very, very tough to come by. You know, most appliques done with a standard twill color, whether it be white, black, red, whatever. So getting into applique now with this process that we came up with, it's a great way and a unique way to offer your customers many different types of finishes that sometimes traditional embroidery and applique just can't achieve. So we have some questions out there on Facebook Live, which we're going to get to. One of the first from Mark, and everybody thank you for the participation here, was what type of paper and printer are you using? I'm assuming you're talking about the screen printed transfers. That was just a special release paper and screen printing process that's used to create those full color screen printed transfers. Much just like a traditional screen print, just a slightly different process rather than direct to the garment, just on a special release paper. If you're referring to some of the vinyl, that was our traditional cad-cut product, which if you have a vinyl cutter, any vinyl cutter will work, from the Rolands and the Graphtex of the world to now with the popular craft cutters such as the Cameo, the Cricut. Those are all suitable to cut our cad-cut products. Or like I had mentioned before, that's a service that we could provide you here at Stahls to custom cut any type of vinyl transfer. And let's see, we have another question about using a home iron to apply some of these transfers. Yes, it will work, absolutely. We have a lot of people in the craft market that just simply use a home iron to apply the vinyl transfers. Now, one thing with a home iron is it's not the most consistent. A heat press is always going to be preferred to heat apply any type of transfer, whether it's vinyl, screen printed, digital, whatever it may be. A heat press is always recommended to give you the best results and overall durability through the life of the garment. But using a home iron is perfectly suitable. When using that, we just recommend you use the cotton setting when you're ironing it, and just try to remain consistent on the pressure over the areas of the transfer that you're applying. So yes, it'll stick, but it may not last as long or be as durable as a traditional heat press. And we also have another question from Aaron Elm. What is the cost of the heat press that we're using? We're using 2 heat presses in the class today. We have our standard Hotronix Fusion, which is the swing away or the draw model, which the press itself is $2,100, but we also have some nice packages put together that include many different optional platens and supplies there. And the auto release, which is the clamshell style that you see here, digital time, temperature, and pressure, and automatic opening. And we have that one at 16 by 20 size at $1,600. We also have a few smaller sizes from a 16 by 16 to an 11 by 15. And also, much like the Fusion, we have some nice packages put together with optional platens. And for the clamshell style, whether it's the counter caddy or the pedestal caddy that converts a clamshell to a threadable heat press. Any others on the go-to webinar, Jimmy?
No, we're okay at this time, Mike.
All right. Well, we have the basics of heat transfer, from doing the traditional names, numbers, t-shirts, sweatshirts, applications there, quickly and easily becoming a screen printer overnight with simply a heat press, and why every embroidery business should have a heat press. But let's take a look into doing some other full color applications with digital transfers and our express print patterns that we have now. So what we're going to do is we're going to press this jacket here. It's a nice cheerleading jacket, ladies jacket. And what we're going to do is we're going to mix a media here with an extremely popular cad-cut material that we have out, which is our cad-cut adhesive, paired with our foils. And we're going to do on the back a full color digital heat transfer. And what a digital heat transfer, how it compares to a screen print is it's going to allow you to achieve basically unlimited colors. With screen printing, you're kind of limited to spot colors and things, and yeah, you could do gradients and stuff, but digital transfers is going to allow you to basically an unlimited color palette to achieve gradients, fades, and even true photo quality type printing. So what we have here is we have our cad-printz printed on our Foil Tech Gold, which is a gold-based heat transfer material that's been printed full color. And one of the nice things about digital transfers is with the many different fabrics out there in sportswear in the market and the popularities of the Under Armours and Nike Dry Fit, a lot of times those are very heat sensitive under the heat press. So with the cad-printz and our Super Tech line of material and Foil Tech, those apply at a low temperature of 280 degrees to drastically reduce the amount of scorching and the heat press box that you see on some of the more popular garments today, like I said, the Under Armours and the Nike Dry Fits. So we're going to go ahead and apply those, and these, for those of you who have an eco-solvent printer or solvent printer such as a Roland, Versacam, or a Mamaki or Mamuto, we carry the rolled goods that you could load into those types of printers and print full color digital transfers like this. But as I said before, we offer this service as well through our cad-printz, and you could order any of our digital materials for a full color heat transfer. So we're going to step over the fusion. So I'm going to take my hoodie or zip-up jacket, lay this over the press, and you'll see here we have some seams and things here to take out. So I'm going to go ahead and swap to my other platen here. Actually, no, I'm not, because this transfer is too big. So we'll go away with this and place this here. We'll just crank up the pressure a little bit more. Place our full color digital transfer through our cad-printz. I like to cover these with a cover sheet. While not necessary, it's just something I like to do when doing digital transfers, because sometimes the mask will tend to crinkle under the heat. So we'll lock this down 280 degrees for 5 seconds.
How long would the digital transfers last? The
digital transfers will last the lifetime of the garment, so as long as, if you're printing them yourself, using the proper color profile, and as always following the recommended time and temperature settings. So with this, we have a two-step application, which is 5 seconds, and then we're going to go ahead and remove our mask, and we have a little bit mess up there, so I'm going to apply this again. I'm going to let that cool a little bit before we peel that off. With the cad-printz, I like to allow it to warm peel, and I think we may have a faulty or a little age transfer here that I found in my desk drawer today. So that one didn't work out so well for us. Normally that works no problem, but let's forget about that application there, and we're going to go on to our adhesive and our foil, which we're going to use a left chest design. So with that, I'm going to swap out our platen. Back to our 8x10 here, lock it in, and we're going to lay that over here so that the zipper doesn't interfere with our heat press. And the adhesive and foil, you know, for those of you doing screen printing foils, it's much of the same concept, where instead of screen printing an adhesive ink down and laying a foil over top, we're using our cad-cut adhesive, which is a cad-cut product It's a cuttable adhesive that comes on a roll, and it's cut just like traditional cad-cut products. So it's cut, it's weeded, and what you're left with here is an adhesive that we're going to heat apply. And then we're going to take this gold foil once the adhesive is applied and apply the foil over top and remove it. So the adhesive applies at 300 degrees for 5 seconds. And once we have that, we're going to remove our carrier of the adhesive. And now you can slightly see that. You can't, it's not being picked up on camera, but that's okay, that's the effect. And we're going to lay our foil over top. And just like the digital transfers, I like to use a cover sheet when doing this. While not necessary, just something I prefer to use. And then with this, with the foil, you use a heavier pressure than you do with the adhesive. And you do that for 10 seconds. And you'll notice the adhesive was a hot peel. With the foil, we actually allow that to cool prior to peeling off the gold foil. So we'll leave that sit there. And I believe there was a question, Jimmy?
No, we're okay.
Okay. Anything? Can you scroll down for me on Facebook, see if there's any additional ones on there? All right, looks like we're good. So we've allowed the foil to cool, and we'll go ahead and just peel this off. So there we have a gold foil application that it would be extremely nice with the gold finish of the digital transfer. And you can see just moving that in the light, the shine that you achieve with the foil and the adhesive. And the foil comes in many different colors and patterns as well, and a lot of different things that you could do with the foil to achieve different finishes. All right, so we saw some full color printing there and some mixed media applications with the heat press. Now let's take a look at some of the specialty finishes. We just saw one of the more popular ones these days with the adhesive and the metallic foil, but let's get into some other finishes we've seen. You know, you saw the glitter flake with the rip away. Now we're going to see it in traditional cad-cut methods where you could purchase the rolls or allow us here at Stahls to do the custom cutting for you. And so these types of finishes are just extremely tough for the traditional decoration methods such as screen printing and embroidery. So we'll load, we're just going to use a basic white t-shirt here today with the Fusion. Do a quick pre-press to get any moisture or wrinkles out of there. All right. And let's take a look at some of the many different finishes that you could achieve with heat printing. All right, we have the cad-cut glitter flake, which the glitter, is all the rage these days when it comes to finishes. Comes in many different colors, many different finishes, and the glitter flake, it is a true glitter finish, so it even has the texture, and then once we remove the carrier, we'll see the shine and the light. And the glitter flake applies 320 degrees for 10 to 15 seconds. And it's a hot peel. So you see there we have the glitter, and as you move it around, you can see the different sparkle and shine that the glitter flake will offer. And then when you touch the glitter, it actually has the textured finish, not a flat, muted, like some of the older style glitters have had in the past. So we have another one, our cad-cut hologram, which is an extremely popular product, and we've seen folks using this as almost like a faux rhinestone. As you'll see with the finish here, it's got some very different holographic type rhinestone effects once the light hits it. So what I've seen some folks do is they'll cut small little 3mm circles for their text or graphic to mimic rhinestones. So since we already have something applied there, I'm going to use a cover sheet, and in the hologram, much like glitter flake, 320 degrees, 10 to 15 seconds. And that's a cold peel, so we'll allow that to cool. and some of the other different finishes. These are, just take a look at them on the camera. We have our cad-cut flock, which again, back to the rip-away video, the flock, it's also a perfect material for cad-cut, but also the rip-away process, and what the flock will yield is a nice suede felt-like finish. And then we have our fashion film electric. This is a metal type chrome. You can see the chrome plate diamond finish in there. We also have this in a gold. And the standard colors in the electric, they come in red, orange, and just offer you a super metallic finish. And one of the other more popular ones, it's a newer product we have here, which is our cad-cut glaze. And this is almost like an iridescent type finish, great for tone-on-tone type applications. And one of the unique things about the glaze is it comes in 5 different colors, but it's tough to really explain those because whatever type of color garment you apply it on, it's going to take a different type of finish. So it's just a cool, unique kind of tone-on-tone type finish that you could achieve with this. And then we also have our cad-cut glow, which is a glow-in-the-dark material, unique for parties and Halloween, and the popular midnight bowling and things where you have the black lights. The glow really, it's a great accent for those. So, and one other specialty finish that's possible with the heat press, maybe we're going to head back to the front, is we have reflective. As you see here, we have a safety vest here with the reflective striping, but we've also placed a logo within there in the same reflective finish. So popular with municipalities, EMTs, police, fire, whatever it may be. And we carry the 3M reflective, which more often than not, if you're doing something for police, fire, EMT, they require the 3M product because it meets the reflectivity standards and things that most municipalities require. And we also have some the fashion reflect, which is a little less expensive than the 3M, but most folks aren't going to notice the difference of the reflectivity. It just hasn't went through any of the testing and things to meet those types of standards for reflectivity. And it looks like we have another question on Facebook from Eugene. How do I get this equipment and materials in Africa? We do have an international division, which you can reach at Stahls International. If you go to our website at stahls.com and you go to the Contact Us page, you could find the information and contact number and email for our Stahls International division, and they'll be able to get you going. With you being in Africa and anyone else out there, throughout the world, we're able to service you anywhere throughout the world. So, let's see. Would you recommend a 2-step foil adhesive heat transfer or foil vinyl cut heat transfer? And this is from Janet. That's a great question, Janet. You saw with the hologram material or the fashion film electric, those give you metallic finishes as well. I like the adhesive and foil because the shine is much greater, but one of the downfalls of the adhesive and the foil, it doesn't have the same exact durability of a cad-cut transfer. So with the adhesive and foil that you saw with the name, you're going to get about 25 to 30 washes is what we've had through our R&D programs here. And with a traditional cad-cut, you could expect 50 plus wash and dry cycles out of that. So you need to educate your customer on what they would prefer to have, the more shine that you saw with the adhesive and the foil, or they would have something that's more durable because they're going to wear the shirt more. So you just need to educate your customers as to really what they would rather have. So each have their own benefits. Anything else out there, Jimmy, on GoToMeeting?
We're fine on this end, Mike.
All right, so we took a look at the more traditional apparel decorations that folks do with their heat press. But nowadays, especially with the craft cutters, the cameos, the crickets, the craft market is huge. And a lot of times these things aren't even thought about by traditional decorators because they bought their heat press to simply decorate apparel. But there's so many other things out there that can be decorated, from home decor to bags, totes, millions and millions of different things here that you could use a heat press for. So I'm just going to grab some of these items and bring them in here. And we'll do a few applications on some of these. So this purse, It's a synthetic leather purse that could be decorated with cad-cut. We have our fashion film electric here. This is the gold. Simply cut it with your vinyl cutter or order the custom cut from us here at Stahls. Using optional platens, you could load these odd-shaped purses in there to personalize these tough-to-decorate items. We have pot holders decorated with our cad-cut glitter flake. Same thing, load it into your vinyl cutter, cut the particular finish, or have us do it. Pot holders, super popular in the craft market. And then we have, you know, these little wine totes, great for wedding gifts, holiday gifts for Christmas. You know, just personalize them along with whatever, you know, preferred bottle that you're placing in there. Cosmetic bags, decorated with cad-cut and simply just a heat press. Again, a smaller cosmetic bag, personalized with monograms, which is all the rage these days. Home decor, I was mentioning, you could do pillows. And we've seen a lot of our craft customers starting to offer these types of pillows as wedding keepsakes, birthday gifts, things like that, you know, as more decorative than, you know, use. And basically how these would be decorated, you know, with these pillowcases, the pillow comes out, you just, obviously you decorate these prior to putting the pillow in, and great keepsake items. Pad folios, decorated with a heat press. This is our cad-printz digital transfers, but again, you could use cad-cut on these synthetic type leather applications. And then, you know, the bags and totes. You know, we have a lot of eco-friendly folks out there these days, and, you know, caring about the environment. We have these like grocery totes. Now you could personalize these, and we'll go ahead and do this one with a monogram, which we'll see cut here. And this is our fashion film metallic gold. So we'll go ahead and load this into our press. I'm going to use a smaller platen to avoid the straps of the bag. So I'm going to use the 8x10 again. Lock it in place. And why I switched it out is because we have these awkward, you know, setting it on the platen, we could get away with it, but we still have to worry about the straps and things. So thread that on there so that those fall to the wayside. And again, that's all about getting a direct pressure and direct heat so that you know you're going to get a transfer that's going to last the life of this tote. And there we have decorated tote with our fashion film. So just basically anything that you could fit into a heat press, you could decorate quickly and easily, whether it's vinyl transfer, whether it's a screen printed transfer, whether you want to use an embroidered look with our rip away. Anything is possible with a heat press. And one last thing we're going to decorate with this heat press is a pair of shoes. Swapping out a platen here, we're using our shoe platen. Lock that in place. I'm going to go grab my shoe. I forgot it. We have our shoe platen here. And what this is going to allow us to do is place our shoe on the platen, and we're going to go with the stick with the monogram trend here. Place our small cad-cut fashion film monogram on our shoe. And go ahead, and when doing shoes, I like to use a cover sheet. You know, on the leather type athletic shoes, I like to use our flexible application pad, but this is a fabric-based shoe, so a craft paper works just well because there's not really going to be any damage going to be done to the shoe itself. Once we have that press, we just remove that, and there we have a personalized shoe, adding immediate value and upsell potential for you as a business. All right. So there we have the many different things that you're able to do with your heat press to become a successful business. Now, I'm pretty certain we covered 12. We may have covered a little more, you know, but I don't like to use finite numbers when it comes to heat printing because, you know, with the many different options of vinyl, digital transfers, plastisol transfers, types of things that you could load into your heat press, you know, your decorating options are nearly unlimited. You know, so don't ever think you're just able to do t-shirts. Think outside the box and offer these many different items that most decorators typically kind of forget about. You know, and these, yeah, most folks come to you for decorated apparel. You know, but adding these many different types of items outside of wearables or even the traditional type wearables, it's just going to add just potential profit growth for you just by simply adding a few custom items. So we appreciate everybody. Any questions out there, Jimmy? All right, I appreciate everybody for listening today and joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on future Stahls TV broadcasts. Thanks and have a great day.